Deadeye. 17 more battle report. Cygnar versus Retribution.
Hello.
Hello.
We're back. This is 2017 now,
Yes.
properly. The last batrep I posted was from months ago.
Ages.
So, so guys were nagging at me for quite a long time to get that done, and I eventually got it done. But now we're living in the post-errata apocalypse fallout of Ossyan no longer having Deadeye.
Oh, right.
So you've got Ossyan, and
Yeah.
in this game the only thing that's changed due to the errata is missing Deadeye with Ossyan.
Yeah, and something on the Arcanist which I didn't get, but they changed something. But
Changed
it
the
didn't make a
wording
difference.
just to So Ossyan lost Deadeye and gained Fortune,
Yeah,
which is kind of not
fortunate.
so much of a... It's kind of not really a nerf, it's just a change.
Yeah.
Because Fortune works for melee attacks as well,
Yeah.
and gets you a reroll, whereas Deadeyes are more expensive, and
Yeah.
Deadeye isn't an upkeep.
Exactly. For me, at least, in my list, on my not tournament optimized list, I think it worked quite well, especially since it's an upkeep, and I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, you were using Deadeye on your Strike Force,
Yeah.
and Fortune, it works pretty well on the Strike Force.
Yeah.
Generally, they want to shoot jacks,
Yeah, exactly.
and a reroll is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not as good as an extra dice, but having that in close combat as well makes a big difference.
Yeah,
Just make sure that those hit and that you take things down. So other than that, it's the same list as before.
Yeah, exactly. You should all know that by now. We can write it down.
Yeah, and I'm not writing it down.
Nah, good.
There's a picture of my list, so it's Stryker 2. So I've been playing a lot of Nemo 3 recently, but I knew you'd been playing Ossyan,
Yeah.
and Nemo 3 is
quite
really an
predictable.
uphill struggle against Ossyan because he's so good at killing jacks. Nemo 3 likes to bring jacks, so I got a Stryker 2 list. So I've got Stryker 2, he's got the Phoenix, he's got the
I wish.
the Squire with him. And in his battle group is Rowdy and an Ironclad, and that's a pretty small battle group these days. I also bought Journeyman Warcaster with a Hunter, and he's also got Harrison Gibbs, the new Partisan solo
With a cat.
with the cat, but he's being proxied by my Trencher Master Gunner because I don't have the model. I just wanted to try it out in this list. And I've got 5 Storm Lances and Lattimore, and then up front here I've got 10 Trenchers with the command attachment. I don't think I've missed anything. I think that's all of it. And there's a picture here of our scenario. It's number 7.
Right.
Can't remember the name of it. It's the one with the 2 big discs of zones. Yeah, and we've got plenty of terrain out as usual, as we like to have it. And I won the roll off, and I know that your plan is to have second turn, so I made you go first.
That was really mean, yeah.
Which was quite nice for me because it meant I deployed a bit further up the board, especially with advanced deployment. If you've got advanced deployment and I've got advanced deployment, then I don't really want to be moving, because on your turn 1 you would then, if you had the second turn, you'd be able to shoot with your Mage Hunters with Quicken on them.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just crazy. So yeah, I'll let you do the first turn. And
Yes,
did you have any plan or anything?
No, the thing is, I really did prepare less than I usually did, and I usually don't prepare at all, so to speak. It's been a while since I played. I think the last game might have been the one with Leon that the batrep is up now.
No, we played. I played a game with you with Nemo 3 with Ossyan, and we didn't even do the report for that.
Right, might have been 1 or 2
I died
months.
so dismally.
Right.
I think that was that was after November. I think it was late November.
See,
or something.
and since that, I didn't pay any attention to the game at all. And you can see that in the game, I believe, because I forgot quite a lot of things. And I just remember that putting up my jacks behind the forest is a bad idea, and that's the only thing I had in mind when I...
But you also made sure you put Ossyan on the front line of his deployment zone. Because
exactly.
You've had that problem before where he's wanted to move before casting a spell.
Exactly.
But it was blocked in by his jacks, so you can see Ossyan, he's up front. He's behind the Mage Hunters still, but he's up front.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and so I did have a plan. So as I said, I wanted you to have first turn because of the shooting that you'd be able to do if it was so there's that. And I also knew that trenches being able to dig in would make them virtually impossible to hit by your Mage Hunters. So trenches versus Mage Hunters is actually pretty good. except when they've got quicken, because they can then run. They can actually charge further than my shooting range if they have quicken.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that's not as good for me.
So I don't think about that.
But the trenches were really there to
block.
deal with the mage hunters, and also to to provide something that you can't really shoot. That's the closest thing to you. I also put the hunter up there. He deployed after Iris, so you can see Iris is nearest the house there, right on the end. And I thought that you would be chasing down the hunter with Iris because of disruption.
Yeah.
So I just put him just outside of Iris's threat range there. And then I really wanted to try out Gibbs's ability with Stryker 2, so my idea was that I would be trying to get Stryker 2 in and try and get him to kill a couple of your jacks and hopefully break through your line to get to Ossyan without getting shot. So Stryker's being super solo in this match, which means he's getting Arcane Shield on him and he's camping almost all of his focus unless he absolutely needs to, because I want him to be indestructible before he gets into melee.
Yeah.
And then we got the Storm Lancers here, so I just put them kind of anywhere really. It doesn't really matter where you deploy them because you can always run them a long way in the other direction. And yeah, they just really needed just to survive long enough to get into your lines.
Yeah.
Because if I could take out those mage hunters, then that's pretty much the most of the army, I think. Although the jacks are pretty good as well. So anyway, so you had the first turn, and that looks like this.
Yeah, I basically just ran up. I made sure that I was out of your shooting range, meaning...
So I couldn't just aim and shoot your guys. Or I can walk up and shoot your guys. That was it, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Because I've got stealth. Yeah, exactly. So I made sure I was more than 11 inches away from you. And that was basically everything I did. And I wasn't too sure about Iris. So she went down the right side of the table, and that was basically it. I think I cast Quicken on the large group of mage hunters on the right.
That's right, yeah. So in this case they didn't need, but they had the defense boost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So in the case that they could possibly get shot,
that
would be much more difficult to shoot.
Yeah,
and using the forest to your advantage, all of your guys are more than 3 inches out into the forest.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Forests are very good for mage hunters.
Yeah.
So then, what did I do? Oh, that's right. So I could see that I couldn't. I wouldn't be able to walk and shoot your guys, and I wouldn't be able to. If I could
charge.
I could assault, so I could do a 9-inch movement and then shoot. Excuse me, but they wouldn't really die to that because their defense is so high at the moment. Some of them behind walls and things like that. So I decided to put up a sacrificial line of 4 of my trenches. And then in the case that you charge me, then you could kill those 4, that would be fine. And then anyone who charged those would die in the next turn. And if you wanted to charge past them, you've only got a 1/2-inch melee range on your mage hunters, so then you would be taking 3 strikes from those guys. Then I grouped up the rest of the trenches on the hill, and then dug everyone in. So I've got 2 guys just towing into the zone. So if you wanted to kill those guys, you'd probably have to charge them, which means bringing your lines further out towards mine, which would break things up, which would be good. And it stops you scoring on the turn after next if you don't deal with them. And then, everyone else is grouped up on the hill and dug in, and that makes their defense just absolutely obscene. I think 19, something like that.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is really just Rowdy and the Ironclad just sort of getting as far up as they can but staying behind the trenches. Same with the Storm Lancers, just spread them out a bit because your line is so spread out. I know that each of my Storm Lancers could potentially kill like 4 Mage Hunters on a charge. Yeah. So I spread them out as much as I could whilst keeping them in command range just to... so basically it didn't matter which side I wanted to charge at, I would still be able to get some hits, and then Stryker's just hid behind the 2 heavies there. That's it pretty much. So really just trying to get in a tactical position without giving you too much to charge.
Yeah, that's quite interesting because now that you tell me what you had in mind, I think, okay, I should have charged them. So that was the plan. It never occurred to me to charge those guys.
Okay.
Because it didn't... even think about it because I was so, yeah.
This is the thing, is that when you're playing against someone, you always credit them with the same brain that you've got.
And I didn't think
so
at all.
All the options that I think of I can defend against, but not the ones I don't think of, and vice versa. Anyway, so your go.
Yeah,
we got some sushi.
Yeah, right. There it is. As you can see, Iris is on her way to the sushi on the right, which is...
She goes very fast.
Yeah, because I didn't want to get charged by your horse.
That's right.
What I did is, obviously, I planted these covering fire wall templates from my manticores.
I've had problems with those with trenches before.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that. And then I just shot at a couple of your guys. I actually managed to kill the hunter. Is that the small project of yours?
Yeah, the mage hunter shooting just easily took down the hunter.
Yeah, that did. And I also killed 2 storm lancers.
Yep.
I believe with
only about 3 guys, I think. So it was just the distance that was the problem. A few of your guys were out of range.
Yeah, exactly. And
and the archers, the hunters, what are they called? Stormfall
archers. Yeah.
They took down one of the
with a brutal shot. Yeah, that's always very good. Yeah. And they got the new fortune spell to try it, and it worked well on them.
Yep.
So that's basically what I did. I just walked a bit forward and tried to shoot as much as I could and try to stay in the zone and see what you were up to.
It's a very strong tactic because you can just slowly roll forward with your 12-inch shooting, which is a good shooting range.
Yeah.
And you've got your covering fire templates, which are always really annoying.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a plan, then it can look pretty grim. And at this point, I could see my little group of guys sort of dwindling away on their little hill island here, and your huge line of very powerful shooting. I don't think you'd defeated at that point either.
No.
So
wouldn't have worked anyway.
Not the nicest thing to be looking at across the table. So I had to act, and I decided that this would be my feet turn, so I could act quite aggressively. And I also decided to suicide some of my trenches, so I knew that I would... if I charged out into your lines, then some of them wouldn't be in command range anymore. But at least they would still be able to do their charge attack and assault. And so because they can do 2 attacks, they can do the assault and the charge attack.
Right.
Then that's pretty powerful. And then with the feet, then they would still be able to move and make another attack. And the same with the lances. They're now close enough to your lines to be able to assault or charge, because they can charge quite a long way, and I knew that they would do some serious killing if they got into your lines, because your guys are so fragile.
Yeah.
Electroleaps are fantastic against that kind line. So that's what I
don't
did.
Have to hit them.
Yeah, exactly. So the trenches got really far up. Some of them did some assault shots, some of them did some assault and melee attacks, and exactly the same. Lattimore did some safe, because she's got electro generator attacks.
Yeah.
She just shot one of the heavies because it was easier to hit than your troops. And then just killed a couple of guys around them. And the same with the other lancers. They either did melee attacks or did some assault and then shooting, and then electroleaps killed some guys. So it took away quite a lot of the guys there. Not loads. I mean, it was about a third of them, I guess.
Yeah. And at that point, I thought, it looked quite well, because you were not a melee anymore. And then I would feed next turn, I thought, and just shoot you to pieces. But then I realized that you had a feed as well, which I totally forgot about.
Yeah. So this is where Striker 2's feat really comes in, is that you get a double hit on your charge turn. So I moved Stryker and Rowdy and the Ironclad up onto the hill, which probably would, in hindsight, would have been a good place to keep them, but in this case it was fine. So I moved them up onto the hill and defeated. And then looking at the next slide, that meant that everyone, basically all the guys you already charged, so the lancers and the trenches, were all able to move 3 inches and make another attack. And in the case of the lancers, this was fantastic, because the guys who only got an assault shot were then able to get their melee attack and the electroleaps that go with that. And Lattimore was able to get another attack and do an electron generator and kill a couple of guys. And the trenches did a lot of work as well. So that follow-up attack from the feet was just crazy.
Yeah.
And so that was probably the tipping point of the game, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
So you've still got your 3 heavies relatively healthy, but none of them have got a line of sight to Stryker for assassination.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about that. And I moved after I used Stryker and Rowdy and the Ironclad's feet move was just to move them a bit further up the board. So what I was predicting for the next turn was that your 2 jacks in the centre of the board would be moving a little bit further forward. They're already in charge range of my 2 heavies. They would move a little bit further forward, and then I would be able to take them down with Stryker and the 2 heavies on the next turn.
Yeah.
And that's basically the middle of your army gone, and then Ossyan would be exposed. So everything's going according to plan at this point.
Yeah.
Although it was a bit disheartening at the beginning, it worked out okay in the end.
Yeah, it really was. It was disheartening.
So then your turn.
Yeah, I managed to kill one of the heavies with a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
And
so the Ironclad went down.
Yeah.
You've got one of your jacks, is it the Hydra?
Yeah.
Has got a gun that depends, the range and the power depends on how much focus you've got.
Yeah, exactly. So
and that's really good.
Yeah, so in this case it had range 15, power 15 cannon. And
that's crazy.
Just easily, not just easily, but I nearly killed your Stormclad, and then I just threw Lattimore in the Stormclad, and then he died.
That's right, it was Ironclad.
Ironclad it was, okay, so.
Yeah. So the shooting left the Ironclad on one box.
Exactly, yeah.
And then you were able to throw, and just the collateral damage from throwing Lattimore on her horse at the Ironclad was enough to finish it off.
And with the rest of my guys, I just feebly tried to engage you in close combat, which didn't work too well, but I didn't know what else to do. Running away was no option.
Yeah.
So
those
I tried to kill as many as I could, but
those Mage Hunter assassins, once they're engaged with stuff that isn't jacks, then they start to become a lot less valuable, a lot worse.
They're Mage Hunter Strike Force, not assassins, but nevertheless,
so that was good. I felt like the repercussions were affordable.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was in too bad a position.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was ready for Rowdy and Stryker himself to charge your 2 heavies.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. And I charged Rowdy up first into this guy. Who's that?
That's the Manticore.
The middle Manticore.
The middle, yeah.
And then I made sure that when I charged Stryker that he would be able to attack both of those.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did his overload ability. He got +9 strength.
Mm-hmm.
So he was hitting at dice +6.
Yeah.
So after about 4 attacks, I think he was able to take 3 attacks. It was, including his initial. He was able to finish off both of the heavies, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then along comes Harrison Gibbs, comes up behind him and just gives him all of his health back.
All of his 12 lost points.
So I got 9 strength. It cost me 12 health, and then it didn't matter at all because I just got it back.
Yeah.
And the super powerful with Stryker too, specifically because of his ability that takes his own life away.
Yeah.
If any of the cavalry had been injured, then it would have also given them their life back.
That is
but
really
in this
powerful,
case, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah. So basically, at that point, I knew that there was only one thing I could do. So I tried to move my 2 heavy rifle teams back and try to see if they might survive the free strikes that they would get from Stryker and the.
So that was it. I deliberately put Stryker in melee with one of your heavy rifle team to make sure that you couldn't shoot me easily.
Yeah, exactly. I tried that, didn't work. And then I tried to, the only thing that was left to me was charge Stryker with Ossyan. Mm-hmm. And I did that with his full focus. And I completely forgot that Rowdy was able to countercharge him, which he did.
Yeah. So Rowdy
slammed him down.
If you're not aware of what he can do, or if you don't remember what he can do, then he countercharged and then got a double on his roll.
Yeah.
And
I think Ossyan was left lying there with 5 wounds or so, and then we saw the end coming and didn't need to play any further. So.
Yeah. So it was a power 18 with 3 dice and So that was it. So I got a couple of blurry photos. Yeah, there we go. One sharp photo. Ossyan laying down. Ossyan's been painted since we last saw him.
That's right. Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Lattimore there, then we'd have a completely painted finishing screen there. But unfortunately,
next time maybe.
So I feel like Stryker with his feet is a good answer to Ossyan with his ridiculous shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think Ossyan is very strong, and I think you need to be aggressive against him.
Yeah, what I totally forgot is that the enemy has to be within Ossyan's control range during his feet turn.
That's right, yeah.
And not my own models.
Yeah.
I guess that would have made a big difference if I had remembered that, and would have positioned him so that,
It might have made him easier to assassinate on an earlier turn.
Yeah, but I think I might have killed your heavy Warjigs earlier or something. I don't know.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
Ossyan needs to be, to get that feat, he needs to be...
within 14 inches of...
Yeah, which is a bit close for comfort, really.
Yeah.
He's so squishy.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm not sure about his feat. Maybe he's supposed to do it after his front line is in combat, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me neither, but maybe at the earliest opportunity and then run away again.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's a similar problem to casters like Kane 2 because he has to be within his shooting range. He can teleport away a little bit though, but so like I said, Ossyan's very strong, but there are ways around. He has good and bad matchups, so against Nemo it's not much of a fun game because he just shoots them jacks to pieces.
Yeah.
And it was just a bit more tactical with Stryker 2.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see what if I remember more if I play Leon again.
Yes.
Soon, and
let's
see if we remember to do a batrep.
Hopefully we'll see that soon.
Yeah,
All right.
I hope so.
Next time.
Yeah.